For years, Craig Melvin has been a steady presence in American living rooms. A journalist whose calm delivery and thoughtful demeanor made even the most unsettling headlines feel navigable. Yet behind the polished professionalism and familiar cadence of his voice unfolded a quieter narrative, one shaped not by teleprompters or producers, but by the deeply human lessons he learned when life itself delivered breaking news he could not prepare for. Lessons shared intimately with his wife, Lindsay Charniak, whose own career in broadcasting allowed her to understand, perhaps better than anyone, the emotional cost of always being composed when the world expects certainty. Craig's career matured during an era when news never truly paused, when the demand for immediacy and reassurance intensified, placing anchors in the delicate position of guiding audiences through chaos while privately absorbing the emotional residue of each story, a responsibility that followed him long after the studio lights dimmed. For viewers in their 60s who have witnessed decades of cultural shifts and personal turning points, Craig's journey reflects a familiar tension, the realization that professional identity, no matter how fulfilling, cannot shield one from the unexpected disruptions of health concerns, family challenges, or moments of profound self-questioning. Lindsay, watching Craig shoulder these pressures with characteristic restraint, recognized the subtle toll such a life can take, the way unspoken worry settles into quiet evenings, and how resilience is often measured not in dramatic gestures, but in the discipline of showing up day after day despite internal uncertainty. Together, they navigated the paradox of public visibility and private vulnerability, understanding that while millions knew Craig as a trusted newsman, only a few truly saw the man grappling with the same fears and reflections that accompany aging, responsibility, and the passage of time. There were moments when Craig found himself reporting on stories of loss, resilience, and reinvention, only to recognize echoes of his own experiences within them, realizing that the most powerful lessons of journalism are not always taught in newsrooms, but in the quiet recognition that no one is immune to life's abrupt turns. Lindsay became his sounding board and sanctuary, reminding him that strength is not diminished by acknowledgement of struggle, and that the wisdom earned through adversity deepens one's ability to connect authentically with others. As the years advanced, Craig began to view his role through a more reflective lens, understanding that credibility is built not merely on authority, but on empathy shaped by lived experience, a realization that resonated deeply with audiences who themselves had learned that life's later chapters demand adaptability rather than certainty. The silent script of Craig's life, the untelevised moments of doubt, gratitude, fatigue, and quiet resolve, became as influential as any broadcast, teaching him that the stories which change us most are often the ones we never share publicly. Lindsay, equally attuned to the rhythms of a life lived on air, understood that reinvention does not require abandonment of purpose, but refinement of it, a willingness to let experience soften ambition into something more sustainable and humane. Together, they found grounding in ordinary rituals untouched by deadlines, shared meals, conversations unhurried by breaking news, moments of laughter that restored perspective, and in these moments, Craig rediscovered a sense of balance that years of professional intensity had slowly eroded. For an audience in their early 60s, Craig's evolution mirrors a universal truth that aging brings not just limitation but clarity, an invitation to reassess what truly matters after decades of striving, and to recognize that personal fulfillment often lies in alignment rather than achievement. Lindsay's presence reinforced this understanding, offering a partnership rooted in mutual respect and shared understanding, one that allowed Craig to carry the emotional weight of his profession with greater grace. As national events continued to unfold and headlines kept coming, Craig learned to approach his work with renewed intention, recognizing that viewers do not seek perfection but sincerity, a sense that the person delivering the news has not only reported on life, but lived it. The breaking news of his own life, those moments of challenge and reflection that never reached the screen, reshaped his approach to storytelling, infusing it with patience, humility, and a deeper awareness of the human condition.
Lindsay, reflecting on their shared journey, understood that the greatest success was not measured in ratings or recognition, but in the capacity to remain grounded, compassionate, and present through life's inevitable transitions. In the end, Craig Melvin's story, quietly supported by Lindsay Charniak, offers a gentle reminder to those in their 60s and beyond that the most meaningful lessons often arrive without warning, written not in headlines but in experience, and that the silent script we live off-camera ultimately shapes the wisdom, empathy, and purpose we carry into each new day.